Welcome to part 68 of the Unsolved Mysteries Iceberg, where we explore true crime, urban legends, mysterious disappearances, myths and legends, internet mysteries, and more. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and ring the notification bell. The true meaning of the name Nintendo. Nintendo was founded on September 23, 1889, by Fusajiro Yamauchi in Kyoto, Japan. Initially, the company operated under the name Nintendo Koppai and focused on producing handmade Hanafuda playing cards. These cards quickly became popular, especially within the Yakuza gambling circles due to their durability and elaborate designs. Fusajiro did not have a son to succeed him. Therefore, his son-in-law, Sekiro Kaneda, later Sekiro Yamauchi after adopting the family name, took over the company in 1929. Sekiro moved the company to a new location and began modernizing its operations, including introducing assembly line production techniques and expanding the company's reach. In 1949, Hiroshi Yamauchi, Sekiro's grandson, took over the company at the tender age of 21. Hiroshi Yamauchi's tenure marked a transformative period for Nintendo. His bold leadership marked the change of this company from a regional player in card game manufacturing to a worldwide video game and entertainment behemoth. The name Nintendo is derived from Japanese characters that, when combined, are often interpreted to mean leave luck to heaven or leave luck in the hands of fate. The kanji characters Nintendo can be broken down into nin, meaning duty or responsibility, and ten, meaning heaven. The final character do translates to hall or shrine or perhaps way. While the exact meaning remains somewhat ambiguous and has been a topic of debate, the most accepted interpretation is about entrusting fortune to the heavens. However, this isn't the only interpretation. Another theory holds that Nintendo means the Temple of Free Hanafuda. This theory posits that the name may have been chosen to signify a place dedicated to the creation and distribution of Hanafuda cards. These cards were heavily restricted by the Japanese government until the 1880s, due to their association with gambling and criminal elements. The meaning of the name under this interpretation is thus very obvious. Nintendo is a place where Hanafuda cards can flourish after repression. Another theory suggests that the name didn't have a specifically intended meaning, but rather that it was simply chosen on the basis of the way it sounds to the Japanese ear. Nintendo itself has no official determinative stance on what the name means, but endorsed that the name likely means some variant of leave luck to heaven. The disappearance of Granger Taylor. On November 29, 1980, Granger Taylor, a mechanical genius from Duncan, British Columbia in Canada, disappeared under mysterious circumstances, leaving behind a cryptic note. Taylor's note claimed he was embarking on a journey aboard an alien spaceship and would return in 42 months. This bizarre case has since fueled numerous theories and remains one of British Columbia's most widely known unsolved mysteries. Granger Taylor was well known locally for his mechanical skills, with many describing his aptitude as genius level. He restored a World War II fighter plane and even built a replica of a spaceship using 2 satellite dishes and other parts. Taylor's fascination with UFOs and space grew into an obsession, leading him to spend countless hours in his homemade spaceship, claiming he communicated with extraterrestrials. On the night of his disappearance, a severe storm hit Vancouver Island. Taylor left a note on his parents' bedroom door stating he was boarding an alien spaceship and would be gone for 42 months. He also left all his earthly possessions to them for safekeeping during this period. Granger was last seen driving his 1972 light blue Datsun truck, which has never been found. There are a number of theories which have swirled about since his disappearance. The most sensational theory is that Taylor was indeed taken by aliens. His note and prior statements to friends about communicating with extraterrestrials suggest he genuinely believed in this possibility. Some believe he may have been experiencing delusions or was influenced by popular culture at the time, which was rife with UFO sightings and alien abduction stories. Others believe that he had attracted the attention of otherworldly beings due to his advanced mechanical abilities and aptitudes. Another theory posits that Taylor's disappearance was linked to mental health issues. Observers speculate that he might have been suffering from undiagnosed schizophrenia or other mental health conditions, which could explain his intense obsession with aliens. Another theory states that he may have ended himself by his own hand. The discovery of truck parts and human bones in 1986 at a blast site on Mount Prevost has led some to conclude that Taylor might have done this using dynamite. Notably, he was known to have access to dynamite and other explosives. The remains found at the site were never conclusively identified as his due to the lack of DNA testing at the time, but clothing fragments were potentially a match. Another plausible theory is that Taylor accidentally died while handling dynamite, possibly intending to create a dramatic effect to simulate his departure on an alien spaceship. Another version of this theory suggests that he genuinely believed that blowing up his truck was a signal to the aliens to come get him. Those who support this theory suggest this was his version of hailing an intergalactic taxi ride for the next 42 months. Despite extensive searches and media coverage, no conclusive evidence about Taylor's fate has emerged. His family, particularly his parents, held out hope for his return until their respective deaths. The official investigation was closed after the remains and truck parts were found, but the case remains a topic of speculation and debate among UFO enthusiasts. Notably, despite the closure of the investigation, the authorities did not conclusively find the remains to be that of Granger. This was a suggestion by Discord user Danson1999. If you have a suggestion that you would like to see included in this series, please join the Discord or leave a comment. Maurice Tillet, born in 1903 in the Ural Mountains of Russia to French parents, led a life marked by unique physical transformations and a notable wrestling career. His story has intrigued many, especially with rumors suggesting he was the real-life inspiration for the character Shrek in the DreamWorks animated film. Maurice's early years were relatively ordinary, with little to suggest what would eventually make him famous. Nicknamed the Angel by his mother for his cherubic face, he seemed destined for a regular life. However, at the age of 20, Maurice noticed unusual swelling in his feet, hands, and head. He was diagnosed with acromegaly, a condition caused by a tumor on the pituitary gland that results in bone overgrowth and thickening. Initially, Maurice pursued a law degree from the University of Toulouse, but felt his physical appearance would hinder his success in this field. He served in the French Navy as an engineer for 5 years before meeting Carl Poyello, a Lithuanian wrestler who saw potential in Maurice's unique appearance. Maurice moved to Paris with Poyello in 1937 and began training for a career in professional wrestling. By 1939, they had relocated to the United States to escape the turmoil of World War II, where Maurice's wrestling career flourished under the moniker the French Angel. In Boston, a wrestling promoter recognized Tillet's potential, and he quickly became a major draw. Known for his unique appearance and formidable presence in the ring, Tillet enjoyed immense popularity. Notably, while he was expected to play the role of a heel, or bad guy, due to his appearance, he fulfilled the role of a face, or good guy in the ring. From May 1940 to May 1942, he held the American Wrestling Association World Heavyweight Championship title and remained unbeaten for 19 consecutive months. Tillet's success led to a proliferation of angel imitators, including wrestlers like Tor Johnson, who was known as the Swedish Angel. Despite his health beginning to decline by 1945, he continued to wrestle, with his last match occurring in 1953. In the early 1950s, Chicago sculptor Louis Link created a series of plaster busts of Maurice to commemorate his career. These busts are displayed in various locations, including Chicago's International Museum of Surgical Science. The connection between Maurice and Shrek, the lovable ogre from the 2001 DreamWorks film, has been widely speculated. Some fans and researchers have pointed out that DreamWorks may have taken inspiration from real-life figures who had a significant impact on popular culture, and Maurice fits this profile. Although no official statements have confirmed this, the speculation persists due to the compelling visual link. The Amityville Horror. The Amityville Horror is one of the most infamous haunted house stories in modern American folklore. The tale, which claims to be based on true events, centers around a house at 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, Long Island, New York. It gained notoriety due to a combination of true crime and alleged paranormal activities. The story begins with the DeFeo family. On November 13, 1974, Ronald Jr. reported that his parents and 4 siblings had been fatally injured in their home. He later confessed to committing the acts himself, claiming that voices in his head urged him to do it. This tragic event set the stage for the subsequent haunting claims. In December 1975, George and Kathy Lutz purchased the house at a significantly reduced price due to its grisly history. They moved in with their 3 children but fled just 28 days later, alleging that they had been terrorized by paranormal phenomena. The Lutz family described green slime oozing from the walls, strange odors, cold spots, and other disturbing occurrences. Following their departure, the story gained massive attention. A local TV station organized a psychic investigation led by Ed and Lorraine Warren, famed paranormal investigators. Despite dramatic claims of evil presences, little concrete evidence was found. The most famous piece of evidence from these investigations is a photograph that allegedly shows a ghostly boy. However, skeptics believe it was one of the investigators caught by the infrared camera. Jay Anson's book, The Amityville Horror, A True Story, published in 1977, claimed to be based on the family's real experiences. It quickly became a bestseller and was adapted into a successful horror film in 1979. The book and movie exaggerated and dramatized the Lutz family claims, solidifying the story's place in popular culture. Further doubt was cast when William Weber, Ronald DeFeo Jr.'s lawyer, admitted that he, along with the Lutzes, fabricated the story to gain publicity and money. Another layer of the story involves George's alleged dabbling in the occult, which his stepson Christopher believes contributed to the family's experiences. Despite being widely considered to be debunked, the Amityville horror story continues to have a significant following of true believers. In my view, the true story of the Amityville horror is so much worse than commonly told. A family purchased a house where a horrific crime occurred and sought to profit off the slaying of the previous family in the house by turning it into a horror LARP. The Bimini Road is a mysterious underwater rock formation near North Bimini Island in the Bahamas. Discovered in 1968 by 3 men, this site consists of a series of rectangular limestone blocks extending for about half a mile. The discovery of the Bimini Road sparked significant interest and debate among archaeologists, geologists, and enthusiasts. Initial speculations centered around whether the formation was a natural geological phenomenon or evidence of an ancient civilization linked to the legendary lost city of Atlantis. The Bimini Road is composed of large, flat limestone blocks that appear to be carefully aligned. These blocks vary in size, with some measuring up to 13 feet long. Geological studies suggest that the formation could date back to around 10,000 years ago, a period that coincides with the last ice age when sea levels were significantly lower. Despite extensive research, there is no consensus on whether the Bimini Road is entirely natural or a man-made structure. Some researchers propose that it could be a natural beach rock formation, fractured and shaped by erosion and geological processes. Proponents of the Atlantis theory argue that the formation is the remains of an ancient harbor or road, built by a technologically advanced civilization that predated recorded history. They point to the precise alignment and rectangular shape of the blocks as evidence of human engineering. Conversely, skeptics argue that the Bimini Road is a natural formation. Studies have shown that similar formations exist in other parts of the world, where natural geological processes create structures that can be mistaken for human-made features. Carbon dating and other scientific analyses have often supported the natural formation theory, but the debate continues due to the enigmatic nature of the site. In popular culture, the Bimini Road is often associated with the broader mythos of the Bermuda Triangle and other unexplained phenomena. Datsueba. Datsueba, a prominent figure in Japanese folklore and Buddhist tradition, is known as the old woman who strips clothes. This terrifying figure is one of the gatekeepers of hell, alongside her male counterpart Kaneo. They guard the Sanzu River, which souls must cross after death. Datsueba's primary role is to strip away the clothes of the deceased, and if they arrive without clothes, she is known to tear off their skin instead. The origins of Datsueba's legend can be traced back to the 11th century, with her depiction becoming more visually prominent in Japanese art and religious texts by the 13th century. She appears in numerous Buddhist texts and visual representations, which depict her sitting by the Sanzu River, often under a tree. Datsueba's role is not just limited to the punishment of souls. She also has a nurturing aspect that is rarely acknowledged. In some depictions, she assists with childbirth, providing newborns with their skin, which must be returned to her upon death. This dual nature underscores her as a symbol of both life's beginning and end, and also shows her softer side. However, it does beg the question where she gets the skin to provide to the newborns. I assume there's some sort of disturbing underworld recycling program going on. Over the centuries, Datsueba's image evolved significantly. During the Edo period, for example, a statue of Datsueba at the Shojuin Temple in Edo, modern-day Tokyo, became immensely popular. This statue was believed to grant wishes and provide worldly benefits, marking a significant departure from her traditional image as a punisher of sins. In modern times, Datsueba continues to attract interest and veneration, and to a certain degree, fear. Hana Gaddafi. Hana Gaddafi was ostensibly the adopted daughter of Muammar Gaddafi. According to reports, Hana was born around November 1985 and was said to have been a casualty during the U.S. bombing of Libya in 1986. However, the veracity of this account has been frequently challenged, leading to various speculations and stories over the years. Initially, the narrative was straightforward. Hana was a baby who died in the U.S. bombing of Tripoli's Bab al-Azizia compound in April 1986. This attack, ordered by President Ronald Reagan, was in retaliation for the Libyan involvement in the Berlin nightclub bombing, which killed 2 American soldiers. Muammar Gaddafi publicly mourned Hana's death, which fueled anti-American sentiments and bolstered his own domestic image as a defender against Western aggression. However, questions arose when rebels overran Gaddafi's compound in 2011 during the Libyan civil war. Among the items found were photographs and documents suggesting that Hana might have survived the bombing and grown into adulthood. There were even medical records indicating she had become a doctor and worked at a Tripoli hospital. This evidence contradicted the long-standing story of her early demise. Further compounding the mystery were claims from Libyan officials and international sources that Gaddafi might have adopted another girl and named her Hana in memory of the first. Alternatively, it has been suggested that the entire narrative was a fabrication designed to garner sympathy and political support. Some reports even indicated that Hana was seen alive in subsequent years, with sightings as late as 1999 by Chinese officials. Further, in 2011, there was the discovery of her dental records in the London Libyan embassy after the fall of the Gaddafi regime. The complexity of Hana Gaddafi's story is emblematic of the broader enigma surrounding Muammar Gaddafi's regime. Gaddafi himself was a figure of contradiction and controversy, rising from humble Bedouin beginnings to become the autocratic ruler of Libya. He seized power in a bloodless coup in 1969, promising a socialist utopia, but his rule became increasingly violent, autocratic, and eccentric over the decades. The truth about Hana Gaddafi will likely never be known. Was she killed in the 1986 bombing raid, an innocent casualty of an imprecise method of attack? Was a subsequent child adopted and given the same name in honor of the first Hana? And perhaps most importantly, did Hana ever exist at all prior to the bombing? Or was she a post-air raid fabrication? If you want to support the channel further, join the Patreon or YouTube membership, join the Discord, and also check out my Spotify page for lo-fi beats. Shout out to my patrons Noah Schubert, Iced Mocha, Kurt the Squirt, Monoxide Wendigo, Jeffer Metcalf, Z Volts, Jordan All, Franz Tech, Unknown Delusions, Faye, Jack Russell, Boomslang, Spookiest Becky, Vespertine, Metanova, Will Roan, Crab Nebula, and Blasphemoose.